Okay, this exercise is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to talk you through it. First of all, I want you to take a big deep breath in, and on your exhale, set your ribs down and set your core engagement. I want you to maintain this core engagement throughout the whole exercise. Okay, step one, we're going to lift the arm up, and what I want you to do is imagine that you're pressing this bit of your hand, the very bottom of your palm, to the ceiling. So you're going to push up, so you're creating that upward rotation of the scapula by pressing the palm up to the ceiling. Then just push back a couple of inches with that hand. Now make sure that your ribs are still down, so that as you've lifted up, you haven't lost that core engagement and opened the ribs. So ribs are still down, core still engaged, palms pressing up to the ceiling and back a little bit. Okay, from here, we're going to create some external rotation of the arm. So I want you to think about pointing the elbow forwards. And again, try not to lose that core engagement as you do it. Keep the ribs down, you're still pressing up and you're rotating as if you're trying to point the elbow forwards. So pushing up, elbows rotated forwards. So now we've got that upward scapular rotation, we've got that external rotation of the arm, and now we're going to go to the pole. So keep all of that engagement and take hold of the pole. Now we're going to simulate a little bit of a hanging position. So our feet are going to stay on the ground, but we're just going to bend the knees a little bit so that you're kind of hanging a little bit into that shoulder. Now what we're going to do is engage the upper back, and then we're going to lift up, but we're not going to pull our shoulder down. We're going to lift our body up. So it's only going to be a really subtle movement, and I want you to think about trying to create that movement from your mid back. So we're going to engage the back and lift up, so that what effectively happens is that our shoulder moves a little bit away from our ear, but it's not this lat movement that we're creating from the shoulder. We're creating that movement from the back instead. And all the while we're maintaining that external rotated position. So I'll show you from the back as well. Deep breath in, set your core and ribs down on the exhale. Then arm overhead. Remember, we're trying to create this push towards the ceiling with the bottom of the palm of our hand. So push up to create that upward rotation of the scapula, and then move back a couple of inches with the hand if you can. Make sure your ribs are still down, and then we're going to create that external rotation, so we're trying to point the elbow forwards. Now from here, we're going to maintain all of this as we come to the pole, take hold of the pole, and then we're going to simulate that hanging position by bending the knees a little bit and sinking down into it. And then we want to correct this by lifting our body up instead of bringing our shoulder down. So for this, we want to try to engage the muscles here in our back rather than down the side of our body. So we're going to just slowly bring the body up by straightening the legs a little bit to come back up to this position where you've still got that scapular upward rotation, but you're not hanging off the shoulder anymore. So you're trying to focus on feeling that here rather than here. This difference between engaging the lats versus engaging the lower traps to create that down and back motion of the shoulder blade is really tricky one to understand what it feels like. It's a very subtle feeling engaging the lower traps compared to engaging the lats. So it just takes a little bit of time to develop this, and with drills like this one and working off the pole on that engagement, eventually it's going to help to develop that mind-muscle connection, so that when you do your spins and movements on the pole, there's going to be a lot of transfer there, and your body's going to know where to go and which muscles to engage.